you a little preview. If you want to check out the rest of the music, go to soundsbyeye.com. Check out the merch, Icon apparel, all that. The song is called Days Past. It's for the revolution. Recreations of a lost mind, running out the clock, signs out, sign of the times. Foster mom saw the kid when he walked the stage. 10 years later, still on the way. No tears fell the day I found out my father died. So my name is Soundsbyeye. I'm a multifunctional artist, entrepreneur, singer-songwriter, trumpet player, radio show host, graphic designer. I'm pretty much what you would call a jote or jack of all trades. Shout out to my boy Mosenrath for copping that phrase, joke, you know what I mean? But that's what we do out here. You wear different hats, get into different bags, diversify. I am from Pasadena, you could say is my hometown, but I was a foster kid, moved around most of my life, and I was born in New York City. So I've been all around my whole life. I've lived in New Orleans, Florida, the Bay Area, shout out to the Bay, and LA, all around LA. So, you know, when it comes down to being in different worlds, that's me. If I'm the type of person that people could reach out to and say, "Oh, what's up with this?" And I might know someone in that world, and vice versa. So I find that being a multifunctionalist, that's what I am. I'm a multifunctionalist entrepreneur. But my passion and heart is in music. The way that I've been able to travel through the years and be exposed to different types of people has definitely impacted my creativity to an incredible degree, just in the sense that I've been able to, see a lot of different walks of life and hear a lot of different tones. And I have some family, cousins and stuff like that. I don't have my direct family, but I do have relatives that are in music or who play an instrument or have helped me, reached out or things like that. But without parents, I always had different guardians. So, you end up in a different foster home. You're in a different area. It's a different affluence. It's different cultures. I've lived with every culture. I've lived with, people who are rich, who are poor, who are, rich when I was in college because, roommates and stuff. Poor people, growing up in the projects in Pasadena, middle class, living in mid-city in LA, regular stuff. So, I think being exposed to different avenues, different walks of life allows you to have the open-mindedness to be able to create. And so when I make music, I find it's really hard to label me. You'll listen to my music so far, and I mean, as my development will continue, I might solidify more of that type of direction in my sound, but you'll find that most of my music sounds pretty different from each song. Each song sounds different from one another. So I'm able to, express different emotions when it comes to songs because I'm familiar with those emotions and I tap into those things because I trust my gut. I trust my subconscious. And when I'm making music, I'm not thinking about what am I trying to say? I'm thinking about what does this say to me? What does this beat say to me? What does this instrumental say to me? And shout out to my man Knox on the beat. That's one of my producers, one of my main producers. But I also produce as well, very slowly. And so I understand how to make music, but I let the pros do what they do. And I got a lot of beats to work with. So knowing technical aspects and then also knowing the feels of things and just understanding how vibes impact the sound and the tone of your voice and things, I think just gives me the best internal feeling of what to do, say, sing, or, write to that song. My name is Soundsbyeye. The song is called All We Got. This track is about individualism and finding yourself right in the moment. Sometimes I find myself walking in a path, paved another lifetime. Goosebumps from the music. You know that feeling? What it's like to find yourself inside the frame of the box that they put you in before they see it change to another box. Boxed in, locked into the gaze of what they see in you. Simplistic ways, but no simple answer. Something tells me that there's still another way to view another. Don't just view another or your label that you use to shape your views. Just a fuse without a gauge. Is it news or just a phrase? Simple rule is just a phase. All we we got is love. All we got is love. All we got is love, love, love. 1993 to 1998, my first 5 years shared with the human race. When the music hits the soul, tears streaming down the face. Ain't no such thing as race, just another way to take in blame, but it's fake. Do you believe in magic? EYEMC, the coldest fire-breathing dragon. Gotta stay keen with habit, you can lose it all in a minute, and I seen it happen. Raised in a CA, but I bleed Manhattan. Got a Caesar back, but please don't ever be a rat. Better off being a savage, habits that I had to rehab. Centers that they passed weren't mapped in my path. When the chills run fast to the back of the cranium, let the spirit pass, way past the past, supposed to pan out the graph. Make sure it's gas, make sure the gas lasts. Do the math and attract the love. All we got is love. That's all we got. All we got is love. All we got is love, love, love. Love, 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 love. Hip hop found me. I always wanted to be a musician since I was really little. I didn't know that I was going to be a musician. I started playing basketball. My whole life, I was playing ball up until about 12. Was getting, some looks from high schools and middle, actually I was in middle school at the time, and ended up in the group home moving around. And I think just my experiences and poetry allowed me to find my voice in hip hop. At first I used to, make music. I played trumpet. I was trying to find a band, trying to get a band together. And I also, wrote raps and poetry and, experimented with freestyling and, recording songs of artists that I liked on tape in the group home, because they had a cool staff there that was able to do recordings and things like that. And just being open-minded and being able to tap into different resources, that's what's given me that ability with that. And what drew me into music really was just self-expression. I can tell you the moment I knew I was going to be an artist was, I just got out of football practice. I had a decent season. I wasn't that great. I would say I was pretty trash. I was waiting for basketball season because that was my real sport, and that happens in the winter. And right after football season, the homies were out in the hallway, and they're like, "Yo, man, what's up? You should try for this musical, bro." And I'm like, "Okay, what's up with that?" Just open-mindedness. And it ended up being someone who ended up being my foster brother. Shout out my bro Ivory, who ended up helping me live in his home, take me into his home and the projects when I had nowhere else to go freshman year. But before that, our relationship started that moment when they asked me, "You should try out for this musical." So I tried out. I got cast as a lead role as a freshman in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. And from there, I was like, "Oh, what's up?" That feeling, my church came through and everybody just represented. And God told me that moment, like, "You need to do this." And that stage, that feeling, it just took me to another place. And ever since that moment, I've been 100% on this music thing. Right after that, the next year, for sophomore year, I said, picking up the trumpet again. Band, I'm doing the choir, I'm doing the jazz band. By the time I graduated, I was class president, choir captain in the band, brass captain in the marching band, and on my way to USC with no parents. So this music thing really, it's emotional for me because it's the reason I'm here. And I don't have my family as much. I have my friends, my family, like the family around me, my rails, my homies, and the fans. That's pretty much it. So that's what it is. That's what drew me. The vibe and the authenticity of it. With the sport, you just are good or you're not. You can do some creative stuff, but that's about it. With music, there's no limit to what you can accomplish with that. With sound, like we still are experimenting where we're at with sound, and that still is yet to be determined. And if you can be the one to figure that out, that's special. EYE is everything you envision can become reality. It means that you can create something with your mind. As cliche as it sounds, you really can. You can think about it and write it down. And I write a lot down. I write out all my goals I created the idea for a 93 song project, and that came to me by writing a poem of 93, phrases or words, and then it became, okay, this beat works for that, and that manifested. So really what it is just thinking of it, trying it, doing it, and then seeing the results and repeating that. How did EYE become me? It was a rebrand. I was going by ZTV, Zarky the Vision. I was working with Delphic Concepts, my first group. We opened for Kendrick, Curtis Blow, Dazzle Corrupt. We did a lot of fun stuff, and I realized, okay, Zarky is hard to say, spell, remember, so I'm gonna go by something people can remember. And Zarky the Vision was the vision, the vision, being able to see, have foresight to where you're going. So everything you envision can become reality kind of came with the clothing line, and that's how that kind of got introduced. Hmm. I mean, to be real, I can remember one moment, the most recent one. It was a time when I started getting comfortable in my career. That's I really like this question. It was at the Hollywood Hemp Museum, and I had a set, and I just thought I was good, and I think I just got comfortable, and I was in college at the time, probably drinking more than I should have, or experimenting or whatever, and kind of caught myself getting off my swivel, and the homies had to check me and say, "Yo, bro, that you got what's up, bro? Like something's off." So I really worked on myself, and that led to working harder on my album and being more deliberate with my revisions. So that, and then maybe before that was more of a business thing, but just a trust thing with someone setting up something and they told us it was a higher price than they paid, and we were supposed to help them meet that number, and it was a flab. So just knowing like who you work with is gonna result tremendously in any direction, so just knowing like, okay, this is gonna work out one way or another. That another could be a bad way. So just be smart about who you interact with too. How do I stay motivated? Uh, the music. The music really keeps me motivated. Like it's a never ending cycle. I hear the song, I'm like, this is the reminder. It's I breathe, live, eat, shit, whatever. All this is what like I live with. My heart is ever since anytime I hear a phrase, I might start turning it into a song. It's just something that I'm so accustomed to since I was very little. My father was a musician. He died, but my mother was into music a little bit. She used to sing to me as a kid, and you know, it's just a part of who I am. It's everything that I've been able to accomplish has been assisted with the music. It's my therapy. It's my ability to take a thought or idea or a feeling and be able to contextualize it and put it into something that's concrete versus abstract, and understanding that this is going to be communicated with other people. So yeah, I mean, there's certain things you can't do with black letters and a white screen. You need tone. You need to be able to have people hear you. And that's why when you hear me rap, I'm not always the most lyrical, but I will tell you I'm the most emphasized. I emphasize my words with tremendous authenticity, just something that I really mean, something I mean. And you gotta hear how serious I am when I say it. And I might not even sound mad, but I will try to sound deliberate with it. So what keeps me doing music, it's just a reminder that I got a point to prove. I got so much ahead of me. I've already manifested my goals, and I haven't accomplished them yet, but I've manifested them. They're ahead of me. So that's also advice to a younger artist. If you don't know where you're at, take a moment, look ahead, and just start thinking of stuff, thinking of things that you can do and schedule it. So I have a schedule. That's what keeps me going, is I have a schedule. So not every artist has a schedule, but I keep a schedule and I run my schedule. And I tell people, if you can't keep a schedule, you're not working with me.
You mentioned that your father was a musician. What kind of musician was he?
To my knowledge, from what I understood, he played guitar and he sang a little bit. he experimented with a lot of drugs, and unfortunately, he passed in 2000. But I found out, crazy story was I found out about how he died and what happened with him and his whole life on his birthday. Uh, the day I met my brother, who I knew had existed, but I didn't know was my brother. And I was sitting on, it was January 20th, inauguration day of DJT. And me and the homie were just pissed. Like, dang, he was a big Hillary guy. I'm a big Bernie dude, whatever. I was into that. Well, I still am, man. And like my boy Samir, it was his birthday. It's January 20th. And I was like, man, I'm thinking, man, if Trump's gonna be a president, I need to find like some other family or something. Like, I need to see what's up, like see what resource I got, because who knows what could happen. And that's that foresight, knowing like, okay, look where we are right now. Like, so much just pandemonium is going on right now. So yeah, that day I found my brother online, and it was also my father's birthday. But I didn't really know too much about him, but I did know that he did music. And some other family, like my grandfather, he worked with Andy Warhol back in the 60s. But my grandmother went through a lot. She was Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol said that she was in the 13 most beautiful women on earth. She was on W, Vogue, Elle, Bazaar, Cosmo, all those covers and stuff. She lost it all. So by the time I was born, they were on welfare and going through the whole drug issues and da-da-da. And I had nowhere to go, and they put me into the system. So, and then after that, moved around a lot. I could tell you the whole story, but you know what I mean? That's what the book's for, so I'm gonna hold off on that. I'm just kidding.
Were you ever exposed to any of your dad's music, or have you ever listened to any of it? No.
His band. He was in a band that I was exposed to as a kid. Matter of fact, that just triggered a memory. That's crazy. As a kid, we used to go to see his band play, but he wasn't in the band at that time. But it was a band that he was involved with a couple of years before I was born. So that's interesting.
Add that to the book.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have this archived. So I really appreciate you guys out there, you girls out there listening to the music and everything. Follow Soundsbyeye, EYE. The song's called Innovate. It's all about fine-tuning what you're doing and finding a new way in and a new way out. Yeah. Look. All it really took was patience, waiting for the train, training while I wait, ways away from way out, had to fix the scale, trying to weigh out, the cons being pros and the pros being cons, what the is going on, like an empty billboard, need a ladder for the charts, let them paint the picture, seeing stars, shoot for them, but camouflage, root for them when they ramble on, let them floss, rap phenomenon, homies looking up to me, guess things are looking up, but I'm down sometimes, I subtract before I add, time some way, kinda odd, cost too high for higher ed, feel somewhere we kinda owe, little something like you, think it be that simple, hold my temper when I contemplate, got a calm temper, staying hot or when a break, go for years and then it pays, I seen an MC renovate, tune it up and innovate, I'm just trying to innovate. They just wanna infiltrate, incriminate, but I sip tea and lemonade from the tree of life. This life brought me lemons, branch out that antenna, man. Innovate. Running into those suspect characters, but I wouldn't say that's a big fear. It was a fear, and then now you see it's both a fear and something I want to fight against. I lived in San Francisco. My grandmother used to warn me a lot about pedophiles and things like that, and that stuff is serious. And now it's really coming to light. But we've been knowing about this for a while, and I think it's a part of something that could be bigger. So my thing is, I just don't want to come in contact with somebody with power who's into some weird stuff. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm happy with the independent career, because I understand stocks, bonds, real estate. I just talked to my guy from Northwestern who's going to help me with, some investing, things like that, and I try to educate all my friends about that stuff because, If you own your own bag, you can do whatever you want with your music. You can put out 50 videos. Shout out to an artist I've been listening to recently, Larry June. That's somebody I've been messing with. He put out like 4 albums in the last year, and he had a deal, and he just left. Now he's indie. You know what I mean? And like that's an example of like what you can do. So it's both a fear, but it's also a hope in a way that, okay, with this stuff being exposed, maybe that's good for us. Maybe that's good for the people who are like, I'm trying to make it the honest way. I got talent. I'm not trying to go into some weird room and do some suspect stuff, come out wearing a dress. It's funny, my girl was telling me, yeah, you're not looking for fame, you're looking for notoriety. And I'm like, yeah, you're absolutely right. Just being a solid person, you can't be compromised, and just being able to put stuff out that people can feel, and that will inspire people. That people will see my story and be like, dang, like that's all I'm dealing with. Like this man has been shipped around like a UPS package, and I'm here chilling at home. Mom's paying my rent, taking care of everything. Like nowadays, you got to really hustle. And if I can inspire somebody to just like be like, man, like that's all. All I gotta do. They'll feel it through my tone and the words I'm speaking. So that's the biggest goal with it. How to do that? Own my own label, own my own apparel, everything that I'm doing right now, just to a bigger extent, and maybe be able to work some type of publishing deal. I think that would be cool. A publishing deal would be solid because it's low key enough where I can write songs for other people and be at home and have a wife and a good life and a couple old schools in the garage. you know man Man, after the feeling after a performance, I mean, your heart's beating, you're sweating a little bit. You're seeing everybody. Especially when you're at a show where it's a lot of other artists. You getting props, whatever. In a moment where like if I envision myself with thousands of people out there, that feeling would be incredible. Just to come off stage, you see the big giant, barricades and things like that. And, being able to just like have enough people that recognize what's up, with masks on, of course, with the 6 feet, obviously. But, at the end of the day, we're going to make it crack.
It's gonna make the crowd look bigger. You gotta be 6 feet apart from everyone. It's gonna be a massive crowd, bro.
or every we could bust out the bubbles. We can bring out the bubble boy type stuff. Everybody pops around, jumps around. That would be kind of fun, actually.
Pretty fly.
Beach ball life. We'll call it beach ball fest. Bubble beach fest. Beach bubble. Hey, there we go. Beach bubble. I'm with it.
Gotta say patent pending.
Patent pending. Yeah, there we go.
I'm like, this is trademarked.
Yeah, trademark. There we go. Yup. Got to know the difference. Making it in this industry means stability at the end of the day. Being able to sustain off your career. What does that really mean? If you go out there and read 1,000 fans, 1,000 true fans, I think it is. It talks about that. If I had 1,000 real fans who each spend $10 a day or $10 a month, sorry, or on your music, you know what I mean, or your merch, whatever it is, 1,000 people, that's $10,000 a month, $120,000 a year. That's cake. So you just got, that's what it is. Everything you envision can become reality. You're setting a number like, okay, that's the minimum. If you could do 10,000 a month, 10 G's a month, that's solid. Well, what is making it? I mean, is it recognition? In a way, but it's not fully that, because I don't want to be able to not live and not be able to be comfortable. And I want to be able to I want to be recognized where it counts. I don't want people to be some random weirdos. I have nothing to do with hip hop and just pop up, like, hey, like I'm cool off that. I'd rather just have that kind of like, that golden age recognition. That's the type of stuff I'm going for. Classic, like can't be compromised. But hey, if it goes farther than that, I'm ready. I'm ready. I just know what I want at this point. Since the first time I started writing, I think it was the first time I started writing, I was 12 years old. I picked up the little black and white journal and just started writing poetry. The first time I wrote a song, I had another journal and I was in the middle of camp and I wrote a verse that I knew was intended for music. So it's just been trial and error, and from getting some sound equipment to trying out recording and sounding like absolute garbage, and moving past that, trying meeting other producers, learning what mixing is, getting into college, meeting really good engineers and people who know what's up with those types of aspects, and having that ability to also create and write songs, taking classes, being trained by different teachers. It's been a long journey. It's been 10 years at this point. I started January 1st, 2010. That was the day I decided I was going to pursue being a professional artist. I knew I wanted to do music since high school, freshman, sophomore year, but the day I decided I'm going to go for it, so start a band, become an artist, was New Year's. And I was walking with the homie, smoking, doing a thing. And it was interesting. Like we're gonna do it. We're gonna go for it. By 2015, we're gonna be on. Like 2010, here we are. And then fast forward 10 years later, now we're in this moment. But it's all about application and being persistent and repetition and trying new things, but also listening and being critical and taking feedback, and not taking too much feedback, but taking some type of feedback. And, if you hear it enough, then it's true. The best advice I could give a new artist would be to make that first song count. That's it. Make that first song count. Do not release anything until you have tested it out. You've let other people hear it first. Your friends, people that do music, people you look up to. And if they tell you it's trash, keep working. Don't drop until you're ready. That is the biggest mistake I made. I had to rebrand myself. I had to come up with a whole new scheme, and that's totally cool. And that's my life, But if I had waited and been more technical and thought about it and studied more and was more quiet, I'm an extrovert, so I don't have the ability to do that. I'm going to tell you what's up, real, honest to God. I'm going to let you know what's happening. But yeah, I would say take a little bit more of the introverted route at first, because people will gravitate towards it a little bit more versus trying to self-promote and put out stuff that isn't as good as you think it is. That's the best advice I would give to a new artist. And build a team around you that actually cares about your music. Yo, so big shout out to Untapped Hip Hop. Make sure you guys and girls and everyone out there go follow Soundsbyeye, EYE. You can check out the apparel that I'm wearing, ICAN Apparel, EYECAN Apparel. That's at ICAN Apparel or icanapparel.com. I have a radio show as well at ICAN Radio. That's every Wednesday, 7 to 8 p.m. on KQBH 101.5 FM, LA. And you can hear that locally or at lpfm.la. And if you need graphics, think21st.com. Yo, so this next track is called Graduation. I wrote it right after I got out of college. I grew up with no parents. Now I'm here, and I'm trying to make it happen. But whenever I hear this song, it brings me back to that time right out of college, right, trying to figure it out. Every single moment, every single move, just trying to stay calculated, making mistakes and finding a new route, new way out. EYE. Yeah. Not now, I'm trying to get this chip. Not now, it's time to take this trip. Like, how did I get to here? I could tell that they never really hear. Like, what the fuck did I say? They never ever listen all the way. Didn't know what's coming out here on a wave. I was always better, never ever been on a wave. Can't recognize, they better recognize. They don't wanna ever look you in the eyes, knowing damn well that they do despise. Can't fuck with them, but you know that I always tried. I keep it pushing, I'm a rolling stone. First one in, last going home. I play to win, all roads lead to Rome. Wherever I may roam, I'll never know. And now I'm just here with the realest from the jump right after graduation. Can't recommend that you befriend every face that you greet, but just know not to ever be a stranger. Truth is I love you when it seems like they hate you, with the realest from the jump right after graduation. Can't recommend that you befriend every face that you greet, but just know not to ever be a stranger. Truth is I love you when it seems like they hate you. I'm a school of hard knocks champ. Yes, I'm hustling often, and I love living in Los Angeles. I'm in the studio locked in. What? But their acceptance isn't wanted. Learn my lesson, now I'm all in. I know the game, watch them fall in. Yeah, I seen the worst, know how to call it. Yeah, I'm a New York boss man. Wait, but with that Cali Steez floss glam. Feeling wavy, never lost it. Burn the flower when it blossom. I was trying to appeal to something, didn't know that it wasn't real. No, it wasn't, but shout out to my day ones, A1s. Stay up, happens for a reason. God show me who to trust, and now I'm here with the realest from the jump right after graduation. Can't recommend that you befriend every face that you greet, but just know not to ever be a stranger. Truth is I love you when it seems like they hate you, with the realest from the jump right after graduation. Can't recommend that you befriend every face that you greet, but just know not to ever be a stranger. Truth is I love you when it seems like they hate you. Always true when I'm often loud, just so you could know what I'm about. It's my duty, gotta hold it down. Never been afraid to let it out, and know the truth, know they only talk. I seen them awkwardly approach the pause, knowing the realest been about the cause. So to my truest, this is that applause. I watched them come and I watched them go, and now I know how to play my role. The world is cheap, yeah, they selling souls, like them shoe brands who be selling souls. EYE, some might never know. Never seen search, but still it's so. Know the truth, homie, man, my word is gold. So hit me up if you ever wanna smoke. Yeah, hit me up. Recreations of a lost mind, running out the clock, signs outside of the times. Foster mom saw the kid when he walked the stage. 10 years later, still on the way. No tears fell the day I found out my father died, but I cry every time I think about the trauma around. Sound of the church bells, conscious lost amongst tides.